So it was a day like any other. Since March of 2020, when the pandemic started, I was working at home instead of going into the office every day. It turned out to be a blessing because it gave us the opportunity to really spend some quality time together. After the pandemic hit, I was working from home. We got to have lunch together every day. We got to have dinner together every day. We got to sit down after dinner and watch whatever movie we wanted to watch. And it was really a nice time in our lives. And then one day on December 3rd of 2020, I'm in my office working. It's about 11:30 in the morning. I hear a shout of agony. So he had a heart attack. He had fallen face first on the hard floor and probably broke his nose. There was blood everywhere and he was unconscious. So I immediately, of course, called 911 and they instructed me how to do CPR. They tried everything. They tried, you know, the shocks on the chest and the compressions and the paddles and the tracheal, all of that stuff they tried. But in my heart, I knew he was gone because one of his eyes was closed and the other was open and just his beautiful green eye just staring out into space. They told me when they took him to the hospital that there's many things they can do at the hospital that can't be done in a home environment, and not to give up hope, but they took him off and he was DOA at the local hospital. Because it was a sudden death, you don't really get the opportunity to say goodbye. So that's been really hard for me. In the beginning, I had nightmares. I couldn't sleep. The vision of him on the floor in the kitchen and laying on the gurney in the hospital haunts me to this day. And I try very hard not to get angry at him because he still had a lot of life in him, and I know he would still rather be here among the living rather than where he is now. When you have sudden death with a long-term relationship, no one realizes unless they've been in those same circumstances, and I say this all the time, your parent passes away, your grandparent passes away, your brother or sister passes away. It's just not the same. No one really knows unless they've been there themselves. Luckily, I did have a lot of friends and family who were there for me. I sought out therapy from many different sources, group grief therapy, individual therapy, and I started reading voraciously because I've never experienced that type of a loss. If you don't know, when someone is close to you that you're in a relationship with dies, your brain shuts down. You can no longer remember the simplest thing. Like you'll eat breakfast and 2 minutes later your brain doesn't remember because it's so full of other thoughts. Your brain can't remember what you had for breakfast 2 minutes ago. You can't put thoughts together. You can't hardly complete a sentence. It's just a horrible, horrible thing to go through. So even though Jim passed away 2 years ago, because I have known his family for so many years, to this day, I consider them my family, and they consider me family, and we are still very active in each other's lives. I don't have the visions anymore of him dying. Every now and then, but not on a regular basis. And I've tried to resume my life as it was. I still live in the home that he and I shared for so many years. It's kind of like a double-edged sword in the fact that it's a beautiful thing to see all of our artwork and furniture and mementos from our travels in the house. But then again, it's just a constant reminder to me that he's gone.